Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Basili, your orthopedics faculty with Marrow, and it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Alikya to all of you. She is the first generation doctor from her family, and she secured a score of 229 in her very first attempt of the FMGE screening exam. She hails from European Institute in Georgia, and she has come to India, cracked the exam in her very first attempt. Hi, Alikya.
Hi, Dr. Abbas. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm wonderful, and it makes me even more happy talking to you. I would like to formally congratulate you on behalf of everyone from Marrow for securing such a good score in your very first attempt.
Thank you so much, sir. And actually, half of the part is played by you faculties, especially from Marrow, because Marrow was my primary source for this preparation.
Awesome, awesome. It just fills our heart with so much joy. I mean, to hear that. I mean, we are actually making an impact in students' lives. It just really makes it worth it. So, before I proceed further, I want to know. Okay, when did you start preparing with Marrow, and when did you get this idea, Kiar? I have to start preparing for FMG exam.
So I had the idea initially from the first year itself, but I was not serious that much because I used to focus more on my college stuff and all. And plus, I was reading books for my basics already. So I was thinking that the entire revision can be summed up through some or the other app is already there, as I had knowledge about Marrow, Prep Ladder, and all. But then again, from third year, when the COVID hit, was the time where I got really serious, and I thought that this is the time where everyone is like maybe at home, and most of the time we are like spending time with our family. So I had lots of time that time to actually invest in my studies nicely. So that time I had taken plan C for Marrow, and I had started my preparation.
Okay, so you started with Plan C. So must have seen the videos of all the faculties who have taught you. Can you name a few faculties that struck a chord with you, or you were impressed by them?
So, Rakesh Nair, sir, I would like to mention him because he is an amazing medicine faculty. And after listening to him, I get motivated for like all his videos are like so motivational. And then also Sakshi Arora, ma'am, for obs and gynae, and you, sir, for orthopedics, because that, as I said, it's like a very boring subject for me. But then again, you make it so interesting and so easy to understand. I feel that, okay, ortho, haan, jhat se kar lenge ye to. Like that it is. And then for surgery, even Rohan Khandelwal sir. Yeah. So these like clinical subjects and all, it's very good. All the four faculties.
So, Alikya, you're the first person who's telling me that Dr. Rakesh Nair is motivating for your preparation. Can you just enlighten me how? I know he's an
Yes,
amazing
because
teacher and all, but in terms of motivating you to work hard, how?
yes, because he himself is such a hard worker, and the way he presents himself is like would make you think actually like how to work it out, like very put investment and do all the hard work as he is doing in his life. So he's a very strict person, that which makes you think that you should put in more of your efforts.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't even imagine, the patience, the energy, and the discipline it needs to, master such a huge subject to that extent that he's, teaching so many students across the world. Wonderful. Now, I want to understand how you used Plan C and the videos, and what would be your typical day when you were using Plan C for your preparation.
Okay, so I used to get up and I used to like start initially with the videos itself, and I used to continue watching videos like for two, three topics together, which are clubbed, like they're integrated already. So I used to complete that, and then I used to go through, like in the night, I used to go through the notes of that to actually set it in my mind also.
Okay, so video, yeah, and then you would do the notes.
Yes, exactly. And then I
Then
I
you
would do
close the video, move on to the
questions.
next subject, or what?
Yes, so I used to do that completely for one particular subject. And then when I'm doing, for example, another subject, then I used to go back and do the questions for that video. So this was the retrieval method which I used to do.
So you would do the questions later, say after a gap of 5 days,
Yes,
10 days,
yes,
1 week, and try to
yes,
recall what you
exactly.
studied in those videos.
Mostly
So,
after that subject.
okay. So एक
Yeah.
subject, and then फिर you would do another subject and then do the previous subject. Yeah.
Previous subject questions. Along with that, also I would revise. Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what about notes? Did you write your own notes? Did you get the printed notes? How do you go
No,
about with notes?
actually, I am very lazy, so I would not prefer writing notes and all. I used to prefer mostly go for printed notes for the clinical subjects and all, and the basic subjects I used to read it through the PDF versions. It was more handy for me to carry it.
Okay. Awesome. So what about, the question bank? You said you would do the question bank in, a retrieval form where you would revise the information that you read through the question bank.
Mhm.
What did you find? I mean, how was the question bank different from studying the notes and the videos?
Yes, so notes and videos are mostly direct, but applying those was in the questions, like the application part of it. And the thing which I found was very nice, the Marrow question bank is curated in such a way that you already have the summary of everything what you already learned it in the notes. So you can also summarize with the help of that. You don't need to go back and revise your notes. But anyhow, I instead of reading the summary, like whatever extra points were there, I used to read it from the summary. But then whatever I've already read from my notes, I'll go and read it from my notes only, because again, that visual impact is there, that I have read it in this page and that page, like that kind of thing.
Okay. So what about the question bank? Did you do the NEET PG question bank or did you do the FMG question bank?
Yes. So when I was doing my plan C, so I used to do the NEET PG question bank, because I used to think that anyhow we are preparing the same material. It's just the way of questions. I've seen that FMG question bank and NEET PG question bank, they differ just the way of asking questions, but the basic idea is the same. Yes. So it's more direct for FMG, but it's a bit indirect and twisted in case of NEET PG. But I did the NEET PG question bank, but initially I did that when I was using plan C, but just before my exam, my plan had expired and I had all the notes and videos. So I was using plan A also just before my exam, which was based on only questions. So in that case, I used FMG question bank.
Okay. So you would say that FMG question bank is actually, designed to, crack the FMG exam more so for NEET PG
Yes.
exam.
Yes, definitely. More so for FMG exam, I would say it's more direct. But again, doing that would also give you a minimal score in NEET PG as well.
Right. So the essence is the concept is the same. The
Yes,
content that is being tested is the same. It's just that how they
yes.
ask those only
Ask the
questions and how
question.
they test them,
Yes,
because these are different demographies of students who come from different backgrounds. They need to be assessed based on
correct,
how they are preparing. Right. So that's a
correct, correct.
wonderful thing. And what about taking tests? So you did the videos, you did the question bank. What was your scenario with tests? What was your relationship with grand tests?
So initially, the grand tests were like scary to me, because I was thinking that I don't know the whole stuff. Then also I have leftover revisions to do. Then how should I go about it? But then I used to see the Marrow videos of like my previous seniors with you and all the interviews, and they used to say even if you don't know anything, you should go through the GTs even once a week or maybe once a month. So I started giving GTs. It was very rare. I used to give GT like third and fourth year, but then the last year I used to give GTs like for like once a month or twice a month, whenever it used to come up.
So, when after taking the grand test, facing your fear of giving the grand test, what would you like to recommend your juniors? I mean, what was your feeling? What was this transition of emotion from fearing grand tests and then actually giving them?
Yes, so basically, I would recommend then that you should actually start giving grant test very early, because grant test will tell you your weak points, and then you can work on those weak points very nicely. So you would know that this topic I have already grasped it, but this topic I am lacking in, and then you can work on that. And it's actually not that bad if you ask me about the grant test. You feel scary, but after giving, you think some tukkas also went right.
Now,
That
what about the
also makes you
FMG?
happy.
What about the FMG mock? That makes you particularly happy because it gives you this sense that you have mastered the art of answering the question even without knowing everything about it.
Yes, by even at least option elimination, you can do most of the questions in grand test, and try to understand where you're lacking the actual concept and go back and revise that concept.
Yeah, actually, that is the hard reality. I think most of the students should understand. Ki, yaar, you cannot read everything. You cannot have 100% knowledge. You cannot go to the exam assuming that you have mastered Harrison and Bailey and everything. You have to be in a position and a mindset where you look at the question, eliminate the wrong options, and mark the one which most likely is appropriate. And that
Exactly.
is how you get the correct answer. And that only and only comes from giving more and more and more tests. I wish I could hammer this into the heads of students who prepare for exam. You wonderfully
Yes.
put it. Now, I want to ask you about the mock exam. Mock exam,
Okay.
did you do the mock exam? What was your score in the
Yes,
mock
yes.
exam?
So my mock exam score was mostly the first mock exam I gave was in December, last December. So it was around 230. So it then started increasing because I was mastering Marrow Q Bank. So mostly I knew half of the questions in the mock exam. So it started increasing to 240, 260 until my exam. until my FMG exam. Yes, this was the score, 240 or 260.
What about using the app features that are out there? For example, bookmarks
Yes.
and custom modules. How are they helpful to you? Did you use them?
Yes, definitely. I really like the custom module feature because then the scary part of GTs is actually sufficed by the custom module because we actually get to customize our own thing, what we have studied, and then from that you can test me like that it becomes. So what I used to do was I used to take the custom module each month. So each month, whatever I've studied, and I have to combine it, and then whatever wrong and right, whatever I did, I'll revise through the custom module. The bookmarks, however, it helped me like I thought of revising the bookmarks, but not all the bookmarks I could cover revising it. Whatever I bookmarked very with the star mark and the one which is just the normal plain blue mark. So again, it is having priorities in that. So only the star marks I was able to revise because again, it was very too hefty to revise that many bookmarks.
So I think you should know how to bookmark the questions that are likely that
Yes,
you're likely to forget and are also relevant for the exam, because there are things that you might forget but are irrelevant for the exam because they are never asked or very rarely asked.
yes,
So I
correct.
wouldn't suggest you waste your time there. Now, what about your discipline? I mean, were you motivated throughout the preparation journey, or were there times where you actually faltered?
Yes. So initially, like when there was like a year left, I started my preparation actually 9 months. The proper preparation into the exam, it was like 9 months before. But then again, exam we could say 10 months because the exam was delayed by a month. So then that time I was like doing most of it like a week study. I used to do very motivated and everything. Then Sundays I used to take break. Mostly I used to watch Netflix and everything. So but the problem with me was I was in the extremes which no student should be like. If I used to study, I should study straight for without taking any breaks and straight for like hours everything. But then when I used to take break, it would be a whole day break. I don't want to do anything that day. So it was like that. But then I used to feel guilty after that day's break also.
या सो ऑल और नन वाला फिनोमिनन है ना, ये पढ़ोगे
Yes,
तो शाम तक, नहीं तो फिर शाम तक बस.
yes. But I would not
Alright.
recommend that to
Yeah, I
anyone.
mean,
It's not
did
good.
you ever participate in marathons?
Yes, I did. And certain days, like these Sundays only, was like a headache for me to complete those marathons also.
Yeah. So the whole objective of marathon is to basically keep you going, even if you're not interested, because it kind of
Yes,
imbibes that discipline in you. कि यार daily 5 modules तो करना ही है.
करना ही है. Correct.
Now, would you recommend Marrow to your juniors? Sincerely, that's my
Yeah,
question.
definitely. It's from third year. I'm recommending them only. The first year students, I'm telling them take Marrow now only. Why you have to invest in Robbins? Actually, it's good to study these. Like having a base knowledge with the books, but then the basics. Marrow is starting from the scratch itself. Like I've seen like other platforms videos as well, but then what I see in Marrow is that very depth and in-depth understanding they give it in the app itself. So I don't think to read 10 lines of a page and then doing it in one line in Marrow, it's better, obviously.
Right. So, but a lot of students somehow, some of them say, the content, the volume is a little more. How would you think? How
Vast,
would you
yes.
say that it is beneficial?
It is beneficial if you start earlier, but again, it's upon you to prioritize the content as well. Like you should know like what exactly to study and what not to study, and where you already know and what you don't know and where to start from.
Okay. All right. Very
So
good.
that's
That's
best.
good.
Yeah.
So, any other hobbies apart from either studying or just wasting your time?
So yes, I actually dance. I do a Bharatnatyam. I am like skilled in Bharatnatyam dancing. So I used to do it sometimes, especially during the COVID period when everyone was putting up reels and videos. Those were the times to actually put on some
Wonderful.
earlier hobbies of school. Yes.
Right. So it must be so nice. I mean, to have a hobby to distract yourself from the daily grind of studying and preparation. Now,
Yeah.
I'm looking at your score and looking at the, the trajectory of your preparation, the kind of discipline and the effort that you have put in. I'm sure that you will not only stop here and find more greater heights to achieve after your exam. And what's your future aspiration, to appear for NEET PG, INI set, or would you want to go abroad?
Yeah, so actually, I'm trying to prepare for step one. For now, I'm just halfway through it. So I'm planning to give it in December this year. But then again, obviously, I don't want to miss a chance giving NEET PG as well. So, but that can only happen after my internship. But then this is the preparation period as well. So I'm focused right now. But then again, just now, as I've completed FMG, so I'm a bit low on motivation and I'll work on
Oh,
that.
but that's the thing, no? That's the thing with trajectory and the path that you have taken. Looking at your performance, looking at your discipline and your scores, I'm sure if you just stick to it and keep on doing the same thing that you are doing all these days, no one can stop you from cracking any exam that you want to write or wish to clear.
Thank you so
I,
much, sir. It's all your blessings, all the
Sir, I
faculty's
mean,
blessings.
I would like to thank you for participating in this session on behalf of everyone from Marrow and all the students watching this. And I would like to sincerely congratulate you and wish you all the best for your amazing future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.